Getting Sliced by Slices of Life. That is the subtitle of the very first book I ever wrote, Gutter Folklore. This is the first novel I wrote. I wrote it more than 20 years ago. It's about a bunch of crazy punks who are all living in the same house. They're all living in the same house because they can't afford their own places. I sort of wrote it as a reaction. There are all these TV shows and movies about young people, young modern people who lived alone in their own places. And I'm like, what? Because when I was a young man, everybody had like 50 roommates. The Bay Area housing crisis is something that has been going on for decades. It's not a new thing. So, yeah, backbreaking rents have always been a big problem. Everybody lived in houses, flats, apartments with tons of roommates. And so that's what I wrote. I wrote about this. It's very tongue in cheek. It's got a lot of urban stereotypes in it, and it's got an ensemble cast. I wrote from multiple points of view. Later on, I learned that writing multiple points of view was actually difficult. It was something difficult for writers to do. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that writing multiple points of view was supposed to be difficult. So it was easy for me. Anyways, it seemed easy and natural. I've read a lot of books with multiple points of view, and I didn't have a problem doing it. It has a gratuitous junkie. It has a gratuitous bull dyke. It has a punk with a genetically attached guitar. His name's Preston. And at the very last minute, I threw in another character to round out the ensemble, the obnoxious punk chick, and I called her Skye. And something incredible happened. Skye, even though she was incidental character, was thrown at the last minute, she took over the book. Her character description was obnoxious punk chick. I've known like 50,000 different obnoxious punk chicks in my life. They're all over the place in my world. And I don't know, she was sort of like this, supposed to be this generic backup character to round out the ensemble. But she took over the book. I ended up starting the book with her. She ends up punching someone in the nose in her first scene. And the book became about her. Even though it switches from one character to another, she eventually became the focus. She eventually became the main character, and she just came to life. And I've written so many stories about her. Like, she was never supposed to be a main character, but this is the first appearance of her. She's my iconic punk character. I've completely lost control of her, and I've written so many stories about her. This is where it starts. Basically, it's set in the 80s, so there's no cell phones or internet or something like that. I know later on, Skye is using, oops, I just bumped into my tripod. A bunch of characters later on are using cell phones and internet, so I don't know. Maybe it's a Kelvin timeline. If you know, you know. Anyways, my very first book, Gutter Folklore, it's not meant to be taken seriously, even though it talks about a lot of serious topics. And it's the first book I ever wrote. And there's things about it that I'm very proud of and very happy about with this book. But also, it's not a book I would write today because I wouldn't be so tongue-in-cheek. Like I said, some parts of it are extremely silly, practically a parody. But yeah, my very first book, there it is.